Alright, we're doing our first repair. Yes, me. Okay, first thing is the hard drive is shot, no good. It's garbage. Trust me, the hard drive is no good. I got a lot of the computer itself told me when I turned it on the hard drive is no good. But to get to this hard drive, make sure you take the battery out. This is an HP G-45 laptop. This is over this, and then the battery is here. Okay, that's pretty much how the laptop looks before you take everything apart. It's not really much anyway. Before you start working on anything, I recommend you take the battery out. Okay, never work on anything with the battery plugged in. That goes for cars, and that also goes for desktop computers. Disconnect the battery with the power supply. There's a little switch on them. With a desktop computer, you just shut the switch off and take it from there. This here, to get this off, I used a Lucky screwdriver, but they got them in a Best Buy or other stores where this is small enough to fit, but this has those pokey, it's a Phillips head, but it has the little pokey so it can catch those screws. This is a kind of big. You want something smaller, but because the way this screwdriver is designed, it actually can catch small screws, which is why I lucked up, because look how tiny those screws are. You know, and this screwdriver did the trick. And this is an HDX screwdriver. I don't know if it's probably from the dollar store, or it could be I don't know, but it's a good screwdriver. It did the job. You unscrew these two screws here to get to the hard drive. This one is for the memory and the keyboard. There's a screw here that holds the keyboard in, and this is also for the memory cards, but we're not doing the memory cards. We're doing the hard drive. So you take these two screws out. This comes right off. Okay, and then the hard drive sits like so. In here, it plugs into this little cord, and then let me push this down so you can see. Because all right, it sits in like that on these screws. So you got 4 screws. You take 1, 2, 3, and 4. You take those 4 screws out, and then you gotta pry the hard drive up a little bit. You pry it up with a flathead, or the same screwdriver. This did the trick. It comes up, but don't just pull it up. Come up easy, and then you have to disconnect this cord from it, because if you pull it up, you're gonna rip this cord out here. These are very delicate. So come up easy, and then you can get this. This is a serial ATA hard drive, 2.5 for laptops. 3.5 obviously won't fit in. So and it's Western Digital. Factory ships it with 320 gigabytes. However, I purchased a 500 because it was $45 at Best Buy. But 1 terabyte is actually cheaper, because a 1 terabyte is $50. But the person wanted a 500. They didn't want the 1 terabyte. For some reason, they didn't want to give me $5 extra. But you know what? It is what it is. This is the society we live in. Everybody's trying to save money, and I don't blame them. So yeah. Oh well to oh well. Now, okay, then we got this. This comes out. Okay, this comes right off. Okay, there's nothing holding this down. It's just this. Oh, oops. When you take this hard drive out, you have, I thought I took them all out from the sides. You have screws on the side of these. I took them out, but I gotta take this last one out. So bear with me. Okay, you take all those screws out, and this comes right off. All right. Keep in mind how you took it out. The back of the hard drive goes like this when you're putting it back together, because this turns this way, so that obviously the wire can plug in from the back. Okay. So this is garbage. Western Digital. It's a good company. Western Digital and Seagate is the 2 companies I recommend. Western Digital, Seagate, or Toshiba. those three. All right, let's compatibility says Windows 10, 8.1, and 7, but I could get this to work on Windows XP if I needed it to. Yeah, so we're gonna open this up and take it from there. Let's see here. Okay. Oops. Shit, I'm gonna need to turn on the light. There we go. Let's cut this box open and get this drive out. This is definitely a 1, 2, 3 fix. Okay, so we took the hard drive out of the box. This is the new pretty one. It's 500. Again, the manufacturer shifts to 320, so they're actually getting more than what they bargained for, because they're getting higher than what the manufacturer shipped for. So now we will do the reverse features and put everything back together, and then reinstall the hard drive. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, first thing we're going to do is put these side screws. We're going to screw these side screws in, which is the silver screws. Those 4. All right, we got the side screws in. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you screw those side screws in, and now it's stuck. Looks good. Now we go here, and we're gonna plug this in to the back here first before we do anything. So we're gonna turn it this way. Okay, it goes like this way. So you see, the front of the hard drive will face this way. And then we're gonna plug this in first. Okay, so plug that in and be gentle. You don't gotta force it in. It should just slide right in. All right, so plug that in. All right. And when you plug it in, it should look like this. Okay, see, it's in. You want to be careful. I told you about that wire. Now we're gonna put this in, just like so, and it fits perfect. See that? Now this laptop was missing a screw. That means the other technician who did this didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Alright. I always say that when somebody does a computer and they're missing screws when you put it back together, you didn't do it right. Alright. So anyway, since they didn't do it right, how do I know? It's because it's only 2 screws here when, according to this, it says it's supposed to be 4. Wait a minute. Yep. Yeah, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They fucked it up. That's what they did. They really messed it up. Alright, so anyway. I like my shit to be done correct. But since the other guy didn't do it right, I'll inform the customer that the hard drive is missing 2 screws. Or, because that's the kind of tech I am, but you don't have to. You can just act like nothing's wrong. Since you only have 2 screws, what I recommend doing is putting a screw here and a screw here, which it'll secure it here and here. All right, so if you do it like that, then you don't have to worry about the other problem. So let's do that. So we're gonna put the screws, like I said, then I'll show you when it's done. All right, not too tight. You don't have to screw it tight. You see, I have a screw here, and I have a screw here, because these people messed up the other techs. All right, I'm not gonna inform the customer on the sake of a technician cover up. Like how doctors cover up doctors, police cover up police, and technicians have to do the same. So, but I would really like to know who was the tech here. After you get the screws in, you put this on, and then you begin to screw that down. So let's do that now. It may be a little, if this looks like it's difficult to come in, you're gonna have to use 2 hands and push it down. Just like so. Okay. You see, I'm gonna need 2 hands to do this, but let me see if I can do it with 1. There we go. You see, and then you just screw those 2 in. Anyway, and you screw those 2 in. Okay. Remember not to screw them both in. Screw it in, but before you screw it in, see, like, I feel something awkward here. It doesn't feel right here. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know what? We're gonna have to, so when you screw this in, the best way is to put it where you put 1 screw here and 1 screw here. The reason why you want to do that is because if you put a screw here, you won't be able to screw the back piece back in. So you want to do it like that. So let's do it. Okay, So now, this is how it's supposed to be. Because now when you put this on, okay, now you can screw these down. And that's that. So screw it down. Remember, not too tight. Just as soon as you feel it in there, that's it. You can stop it. Like, okay, that's it. And that's it. Hard drive replaced. And boom. Then when you're done that, you put your battery back on. Okay. Shit. So you come like this, push it down. There you go. That's it. And now we're good to go. So that's how you replace the hard drive in most HP laptops. Almost all of them are the same theory applies. It's the same theory. However, now that you got a new hard drive, you're gonna have to reload the operating system. What I'm gonna do, because there's a serial number here, I can't really show you the full key because that'll be stupid of me to do that, but you see the product key here is for Windows 7 Home Premium. Now that's an older operating system, but Windows 7 was still pretty good. What I'm gonna do is I have my own Windows 7 disk. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to install Windows 7 on here, but then I'm going to use this code, which now makes it a genuine copy, or there's a partition on this drive on the computer itself, where the computer may recognize that this is a legit computer from HP and may automatically certify the computer anyway. So that's pretty much how that's gonna go down. And yeah, so right now I'm going to begin the Windows installation, which I can actually start it while I have the camera here. So let's do this. All right, so let's open it up and see how it works. So we're gonna turn it on, power the computer on, open the hard drive, open the CD drive. Nothing's gonna start because there's no operating system here. See, no bootable device, insert boot disk and press any key. All right, so no bootable device pretty much means there's no operating system. There's nothing to boot. The computer has nothing on it. It has to be loaded. So we're gonna go to Windows 7 on the right side. We're gonna look for Windows 7 Home Premium because it's 64-bit, because that's the serial number that's on this computer. I have my own personal copies, and so if I were you guys, I would look to purchase your own copies just in case you have to fix somebody's computers. I go all the way back as Windows XP Service Pack 3 if I need to. So I just put this in, put it in, and then what I don't understand about this computer, okay, and Windows setup, enter, and there we go. Let me shut this light off. Yeah, now the Windows is loading the files, the Windows setup disk that you put in, and that's it. So you start loading your operating system up, and you pretty much in the door. I have to ship this computer back to New York because I'm in South Carolina. This guy only trusts me to repair his computer because I was a computer tech in New York as well. And a lot of customers are shipping me their computers even way down south from New York because they don't want nobody else touching their computers. which I feel very good about that because I don't cheat them. Like, for example, I'm only charging this guy $80 to do this plus shipping, so it'd be 80, like $90 total. So he's only paying $90. And all he has to do is ship his computer to me. Install Windows 7, please. Setup is starting up. So now I'm going to also show you how to install Windows on a computer. And this is any Windows because they all pretty much the same. You want to accept the agreement and click next. You want to go to custom. Custom. All right, you see what I don't like is that because I had to replace this hard drive, both HP and Dell, they usually create an allocated space. It's called a recovery partition. These are partitions what you're looking at. And when you have a recovery partition, if something happens, then you can just, when you do reinstall your computer, all your drivers will be preloaded, which is really cool. And you can also run a repair and a recovery with this partition. But since this is a new drive, we don't have this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not going to install. I'm gonna just put everything on one partition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to drive options. We're gonna go to driver options right here, right? And then we're gonna go to new, and then we're gonna hit apply. Might create additional for system files. Click OK. All right. See, that's system reserve. Right. You see, this is what I like to see. Now, right here, we're gonna go to format, and then we're gonna click OK, and it's gonna format it for us. And boom, it's done. And then you want to click next. This is your primary. Make sure it's set the largest should be set on your primary. And you can create new ones like logicals, but that's if you're a tech and you want to create one partition. Like if you have 4 partitions, one would be for your games, the other would be for your pictures and videos, the other one that's what the reason for Windows give you the option to create different partitions. But right now we're just using this partition, which is going to be the C drive, which is where all the settings and programs. Please excuse the camera. I think it could be the screen. Bend the screen up a little bit. So yeah, and so we're gonna create a just everything gonna go on the C drive. We're not gonna have all these different partitions because this person is just a straightforward person. They're not really interested in gaming or pictures. Well, they do pictures, but they don't do videos. They just want everything where they can see it. It's a basic individual who doesn't really care about all that other stuff. But if this computer was if this was a gaming computer and this happened and the person had their game saved on the external, what I would have did was I would have created multiple partitions. One would have just been for all their games. Another one would have been for their movies and pictures. And then one would have been for just loading up the computer, which is Windows. That comes in handy when you have a solid state drive and don't want to put a bunch of crap on it. So you can also use that solid state drive to load Windows and use your other drives for backup space. But for now, we're going to put everything on the C drive, which is partition number 2. And we're going to hit next. And now it's going to copy. It's going to begin copying the file. What I'm doing wrong that I recommend you guys don't do, make sure your computer is plugged in. Anytime you're installing Windows, which I'm getting ready to take the computer in the room because we're pretty much almost done in here. Maybe I should go in the room and get the charger, but this is gonna take probably, depending on the CPU and everything. This is a Dell. I mean, I keep saying Dell. This is a G-42. But this could take anywhere from, again, depending on the processor. My computer, this would probably take about 15 minutes. But with this computer, I don't know how, it's Windows 7 the latest, so the processor can't be really that super great. Again, it's a basic computer, so this is probably going to take between 25 and 45 minutes. So once it's done, we'll come back and we'll pick up where we left off.